everyone. It's the Drunken Disorderly Podcast. We are brought to you by the Launchpad Media. Go to thelaunchpadmedia.com for all your amazing podcasting needs. There's some cool articles up there too. And I totally should have pulled this up beforehand because there was one that I read this weekend that was really cool, but now I don't remember what it was. But if you go there, it's the latest article. Read it. It's really good. Also, the Blast Off is on there. Alex Merced is on there. There's a couple other people on there.
I didn't know Alex was on there.
Yeah, he's got Nice Guys Finish Free, I think is the name of that podcast. It's Alex. He's got 8 podcasts and 30 Facebook pages. I get invites to different ones all the time. It's like, come on, man. I can really keep track of the ones I got. Which is you running for Congress, right?
Yes, I am running for Congress. District 27 in New York State.
All right, so just for clarification, is that state Congress or federal Congress?
Federal.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure our audience knew that.
What's that?
I wanted to make sure our audience knew that.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, give us the TLDR on your race real quick so that we can kind of get that out?
So, long story short, in sometime in 2018, our current Congressman Christopher Collins was indicted for insider trading. And he still won re-election because the Democrats ran an AOC light in one of the most pro-Republican districts in the country. And so Collins, the indicted congressman, still pulled it off by 5,000 votes. I'm not going to lie, I voted for Collins. He was a better candidate, even indicted innocent till proven guilty, his court cases in 2020. So after Larry got ballot access in November, they were talking about running people for offices and getting people involved. And I decided that I wanted to get involved. I own an accounting practice. I'm a small business owner. I have a lot of time. I have a lot of energy. I have a little bit of money in savings that is going to the campaign. So I decided if I'm going to run, I want to make a splash. And I figured we should take the shot because this is a district in turmoil. I mean, our current congressman's indicted. I think that if we run a good candidate, my family is farmers, truck drivers, factory workers, laborers. They're part of this district. If we stop running wealthy, rich people who are corporate sponsored, I think this district will respond really well. And so I decided I got nothing to lose. So we should go for it.
Well,
so
thanks for stepping up.
And look, I want to be really clear. Dwayne, you're putting quite a chunk of money into your own campaign. When you're saying you've got some in savings, he's not saying to you that he's putting $500 plus a filing fee into his campaign. He's putting a chunk of money into his campaign.
I'll probably put about 35 to 50 grand, and I figure it's a good investment. I'll either lose it or I'll make it back. I'm 31. I got time to make it back, or not. I don't know. We're gonna see what happens. I'm excited.
I wish I had that kind of money to put into my campaign.
Well, look, man, here's my challenge to libertarians. So many times what I hear when we ask for donor money for candidates, what I hear, right, is I want a candidate who can fund a campaign. Dwayne is putting minimum of $35,000 into his account, into his campaign of his own money. Man, we can meet that. So go to his
Full disclosure, my opponent, Chris Collins, just put $500,000 of his own money in, so he's doing a little bit better than me, but he's worth $140 million. He's trying to buy the election.
That he got from insider trading, right?
Amen. Yeah. But I'll tell you this much. I started early. I started in January of 2018. We've done about 30 events, and the outreach and response we're getting is wonderful. People in this district are disappointed. They're sick of wealthy people kind of coming in and they're carpetbaggers. They're coming in and they're taking advantage of these people. They're buying elections. They're corporate backed. They're wealthy backed. And I'm telling you, at these events, I'm not getting occasionally I'll get a far left Democrat telling me I'm crazy because they like roads. All right. But I don't know how to tell. Sure, man. Enjoy your roads. But once in a great while, I'll get you someone from the far left saying they like roads, or someone who's a strict diehard Republican that said, I'll never vote for you because you're not Republican. And you know what? I'd say 90% of people I talk to, I mean, this doesn't mean anything till November 2020, but 90% of the people I talk to say, you're not a politician, I like you already. You're a small, you're not a lawyer, you're not a politician, you're not wealthy, you're not trying to buy elections, And so, I mean, I got to get in front of people. We're doing town festivals, county fairs and stuff. A lot of those. It's we got another year and a half to go, but so far the response has been well. We're gonna be a little bit of a different third party race. Most third party races, it's you and a couple friends. You have a little bit of money. You do a little bit of door knocking. We're really trying to make a big deal of it, because I really think District 27 deserves better. There's a lot of good people here, a lot of smart people here that are willing to vote for a candidate not party line. And I think that we can really make a good impact in this district.
Yeah,
I am looking at the results from the last election.
Yep.
It's 1,090.
Yep.
7 votes was the difference, and the Green Party guy did get almost 6,000 votes. So
yeah, he actually he wasn't. He was actually, if I remember correctly, I think he was the one that DC and we're gonna MAGA so hard that you'll never see us MAGA ever. I forget. Like I want to say he was like, I want to be like the biggest Trump supporter ever, if I remember him correctly.
As a Green candidate?
Was there a Green or was he independent?
Reform. Sorry, Reform. That's why. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Because I remember watching when I think he tried to pull votes from Collins. He just didn't get out there. I think if he would have done more, I didn't know who he was until the. So one of my fears is that right now Chris Jacobs is in. His family owns the Bruins in Delaware North. I think that's his uncle. Delaware North is $1 billion company. They're billionaires. Christopher Collins worth $140 million. They're the two front runners. There's some other people that threw their hat in the ring and mentioned it, but they're the two, and they're trying to buy the election. And I hope we reach enough people to get them fired up and let them know that we deserve more than middle class. Middle class has been ignored long enough, or we go out of our way to help the rich, but we don't really focus on helping the middle class. And this year is mostly middle class. So
yeah, guys, go to Duane's Facebook page, click the donate link, donate money to his campaign. Seriously, it's important.
Do you have a primary?
Right. Duane, 2 questions that I know donors are going to ask. Okay. Number 1, what's your win number? Number 2, have you gotten any earned media?
You guys just froze on me, so all I got is the 2 questions. My win number in 2016, because 2020 is a presidential year. So in 2016, I think 320,000 people voted. In 2018, I think 260,000 people voted. Between 110 and 150,000 votes. And then, have I got any earned media? Yes. The Buffalo News just covered me. Mm-hmm. It was a real quick article. They cover Chris Collins once a week. So as soon as they know I exist, we're going to get out of coverage just because we exist. We're writing Chris Collins' coattails. They hate Chris Collins. He's indicted. So every time they cover Chris Collins, if they acknowledge my existence, he's a pretty polarizing candidate right now. I can essentially ride his coattails and get coverage based on them acknowledging him. But it just started. They covered my FEC report, which is really embarrassing because I didn't put any of my own money in this quarter. I've been so busy running around like an idiot at all these fairs and town festivals that I didn't actually put much money into my campaign. The donations were lower than I wanted them to be, which they kind of called me out on it. They said that I only have like $700 left in my account. Hurts my feelings a little bit. Thanks, Buffalo News, but I guess coverage is better than nothing.
Right.
So, so a little bit of media so far. We're probably going to try to get more media after the 2019 elections because then it's 2020 would be the next elections. So that's what we're doing now.
I just realized my aunt lives in your district.
Oh, good. Where does she live?
I can't remember if it's Elba but I think it's Elba because it's close to Batavia.
Yep. Because Elma's closer to Buffalo. Yep. She's in my district.
Yeah, so
she votes for me. Valid votes.
Good.
So we're moving up.
Make sure you donate to him because if you don't have $1,000, don't worry about it. If he gets 100,000 $5 donors, he just raised $500,000.
Yeah,
so,
that's the thing. That's the thing is that I actually one of my friends actually called me out for my FEC report because it was lower than she wanted it to be. But I told her that I haven't been fundraising because I've been so busy. I own my own accounting practices, like I said, a libertarian accountant, but actually being an accountant has made me more libertarian. And I essentially exploit the tax laws that they make to help the rich, to help the middle class and small business owners. That is one thing I want to fight for. If I was to win in 2020, when I win in 2020, I want to revamp the SBA. My biggest things are revamping the SBA so small businesses can actually get loans, because that's what the SBA is for. And I want to stop government-sponsored monopolies through corporate welfare.
Excellent.
Large companies come to small towns. They say, hey, armored truck, roll out the red carpet. We want $1 million subsidy. We'll employ 100 people. Subsidies run out, they leave. Small towns are devastated. Well, that same money, if you're going to give it out, you might as well give it to small businesses that actually care about the community. They live, the owner there, their kids go to school there. They actually care and have a connection to that community. They want to make it better. Small towns in this district are dying. Most of that is in New York State. Our governor, Andrew Cuomo, is a sham. He's unfit, and I wish someone would understand that. No one listens to me.
They will when you win.
Federal level,
That's right.
Yeah,
they'll listen to you when you win.
I would try to push. Yeah, I would try to push. That's one thing I can do that my opponents can't. I'm not a politician. If I don't win in 2020, I go back to being an accountant and living the dream. So if I don't win, I can talk about things that my opponents can't, because they're politicians. If they don't win this race, they have to go back to their state offices, and Andrew Cuomo is their overseer. So I'm pretty open about, I think Andrew Cuomo should be federally investigated for his role in the Buffalo Billion. Essentially, there's a huge bribery scheme. His bunch of people that were surrounding him, his campaign team, or not his campaign team, but his team, people around him that he put there, they actually have been indicted. Unfortunately, this is the issue that we have in government, is that wealthy people just buy their way out of things. I think Simonelli is going to pay like a $5 million fine and all will be forgiven. So I don't think anything's going to come of it because wealthy people get all the breaks because they're better than us. But I think that we're praying that Simonelli flips and kind of says this is what's going on. Another issue I have is right during the campaign, he told the AG was going to investigate 2015 Me Too movement scandal. They received a $25,000 donation from the Weinstein attorneys, and then he told the AG to stop investigating. I guess in politics you call that donations. In the real world you call that bribery. And then their campaign response was, well, we get donations from them every year. So my comeback to that is, are you saying they've been bribing you for other things? Or
so they're bribing you every year?
Right.
Yeah, so they've been bribing you, or they just called what's due. He's not a good guy. It's not because he's a Democrat, to be honest with you. It's just he's a terrible guy and not a good person.
Dwayne, you can take money from outside of New York, correct?
What's that?
You can take money from anywhere. Any
just no Russians, please.
Yeah. U.S. citizen you can take money from, correct?
Yeah, I
or
can take all. Yep.
Okay, so and here's why that matters, people, and here's why it matters to you in Minnesota and you in Montana and me in Oklahoma. A libertarian in Congress is a libertarian in Congress.
Yes.
Right?
It's a huge reason.
It's important, huge, and it matters.
It's huge also because this district I mean, I would have never ran if Chris Collins wasn't indicted, because Congress has a 30% approval rating and a 90% reelection rate, because who knows. But I think this district is ripe for the taking. I love this district. I've lived here most of my life. I love the people. They're fired up. Like I said, they're blue collar, they're middle class, and I think they're sick of the crap. And I think we can really get solid coverage and make a big run at it. I don't think second place is. I think second place right now is assumed. Said that too, and it didn't work out. But right now, the Democrats are in turmoil, and the Republicans are a mess. I think that we can really, if we get in front of enough people, and people start to realize they have a better option, we can start to get those votes.
Well, and here's the other reason it matters. New York, for those of you that don't know, has typically been a battleground state when it comes to ballot access. New York is a ballot access nightmare. It's not Ohio, but it's pretty fucking bad, okay? what does the state of New York do when they want to pull ballot access again if there's an elected libertarian congressman from New York? Right? That changes that entire fucking conversation. So all of those laws that are written to keep us off the ballot, those now come under fire. Because what do? You're going to say he's an elected libertarian serving in Congress. How are you going to take ballot access from his state? Right? This is a whole different conversation.
I think it changes the
I want
conversation.
people to understand how important this race is. That's how important this race is.
Yeah, I mean, thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Yeah, now you made me nervous. I hope I can do it. No, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm like I said, my dad's a farmer. He was a truck driver. Now he's a farmer. My stepdad works in a factory. I went to Fredonia State dinner. I Bernie Sanders that from Fredonia State. They used to have them on their light poles, and I borrowed it. I redistributed it. They had a lot, and I didn't have any. So Bernie Sanders
taxed
said
it?
I can have one. I did. Bernie Sanders said I could have one. Apparently, so they had a lot. I had none. I needed one. But I went to a state school. I paid my own way. I left my house at 17 with a trunk full of clothes and a laptop, and I went to school. I ran track. I worked there. I had an internship. I majored. So I didn't go to Harvard. I didn't go to Yale. I'm not a lawyer, and I think that connects with a lot of people, and I still have those roots that I help my dad on the farm every summer, so I think a lot of people can connect with that, and they like that authenticity, and they like that down to earth. I
would say that arguably your race is at least, if not more important than mine.
Yeah.
We definitely need. People need to step up and support your race.
Yeah. Right now, there's a little concern. I think we've made waves, and Republicans and Democrats have taken notice of me. I don't know if you guys follow like the Being Libertarian page, but they actually McMurray is one of my potential opponents. He's the Democrat. He said, "We're coming for your guns. I hate the NRA. They can shoot through ice, or they can shoot through concrete like ice and shoot 3 times." Maybe McMurray's not a very smart man. He's a lawyer. He's smart. He just doesn't know how guns work. He's actually one of my potential opponents. He's insane. He's had some meltdowns because, unfortunately for him, he ran as, and this is what bothers me from politicians is, Beto O'Rourke did it in Texas, and it blew my mind. He did I'm one of you. I'm one of you common folk. Look at me wearing blue jeans. His wife's a billionaire.
Right.
We're not going to acknowledge that, and Nate McMurray tried to do that. He was fight the machine was his thing. He was fighting the Republican machine with the Democratic machine. He got donations from Rich Products. He got donations from the Buffalo Club. Again, large corporations, big donors. I'm fighting both machines. He was trying to say, I'm one of you because I'm from a small town. So am I. I'm still in I live in Hamburg now. I'm no longer in the small town, but I'm an accountant. I'm a small business owner. I'm part of the middle class. I'm not a politician. So essentially everything he tried to do, we perfected as far as appealing to the middle class. And he doesn't live in the district I do. He's a sham. He found a loophole or something. I forget exactly what happened. So he's kind of stuck because now he just went anti-gun, complete anti-gun in a district that's majorly pro-gun. So I think, I don't know if he's going to run or not. I kind of wonder if he's trying to go for like a governor or maybe District 26 and appeal to the far left. That's kind of something I'm wondering if maybe he's not going to run for 27 again. I don't know. Some Republicans, I'm a little worried that they're going to try to take a play at us, either try to get someone to switch to libertarian and try to primary me, or something like that. We do have a concern that's going to happen.
Wouldn't be the first time that's been pulled.
I have a feeling it's about to happen, which is a good thing because it means they're obviously scared. We're obviously making waves, which is funny because they'll go out of their way and they won't acknowledge I exist. They'll go out of their way to deny me. They won't debate me. They won't deal with me, but yet they'll do stuff like this. So it's like either acknowledge you're threatened or stop it. But I do think they are threatened. So it's a good time. It's a lot of fun up here. I'm meeting a lot of great people.
I know a really good 2A policy guy I'm going to send your way.
Yeah, have him call me. I mean,
amazing.
You know what? New York State has the SAFE Act. And this is what I tell people. New York State made most politicians better politicians because they can either rail against the SAFE Act, which was passed overnight, and half of them voted for it because they're terrible politicians, or they supported the SAFE Act because they're pandering to their voter base and they truly believe that a ban helps. You know, gun bans don't solve the problem, but whatever. What do I know? The SAFE Act made me a criminal. You know, I'm now until my boating accident in 2015, I was a dangerous criminal in New York State because I had ARs. So the SAFE Act actually negatively affected me. It didn't help me as a politician. It hurt me as an individual. Mm-hmm. So that's something that most politicians can't say. Most libertarian politicians can because we're awesome. But, you know, most Republicans and Democrats don't care. You know, I know some of my opponents, they got their pistol permit because they were quote unquote threatened. I got my pistol permit when I turned 21 because I could. This is America, so I got a pistol permit. Welcome to the United States. You know, I didn't do it for political reasons. I got it because I'm pro-gun and I supported guns, and so it's just there's a lot of differences between me and the average politician. So people,
I would have no idea what you're talking about with boating accidents. Oh no.
Yeah, it was real tragedy. I took my guns out for a stroll on the lake to get some sun and to get some air, and the boat sank. It was
What can you do?
It was real sad, you know.
Swim.
I have a couple questions.
Swim. That's it.
I have a couple questions for you.
Ask away.
Have you reached out to Ballotpedia yet? Because you're not on there.
Oh, I don't think so. I'll talk to someone.
Okay.
Wait, I was on there recently. I was on there before, I think.
You are not on the New York's 27th district. Maybe I haven't got the wrong one. Hang on. I mean, yeah, it's you are not on the updated version for the next election. God, where did that page go? I just had it. Anyway, I did not find you on there. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, well, there we go.
Who do I reach out to for that?
They have a link, I believe.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down because I deserve to be on there because I'm adorable.
Yes, there you go. Have you done I Side With yet too?
That was gonna be my question.
You guys know all this stuff. I'm just out there shaking hands and kissing babies. I know all this backdoor stuff or behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, I Side With.
There's a message, John, for you from Donnie Davis. It's a long one. I'm not going to read it, but you'll be able to see it in the chat.
All right. But yeah, I Side With, and if it's isidewith.com or .org, but I can't remember. Mm-hmm. You answer questions, and then people who are looking for information on your race answer similar questions, and then you identify with this person in it.
The political courage test also is another one.
But if you have trouble with I Side With, send me an email at john.phillips@lp.org because I've got the email for the proprietors of that site.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll do that. That's awesome. That'll help me get some people out there. Yeah, I don't know much. Unfortunately, I'm not even a regular politician. I'm nothing with politics. I didn't want to get involved in politics until Larry. I met Larry, and what he did. You know, it was unfortunate. We thought he would get more votes, but I think people were afraid. That's why I'm running. I think I want to build that for when he runs again in 2022. You know, he'll have a bigger support, and
thank you, Margaret.
He'll be the chair of the party by then, allegedly.
Well, and look, you know what, you guys, seriously, Duane's race is a winnable race.
Yes, it is.
I mean,
please, if you're sitting at home and you're watching us, if all you can send him is $1, send him $1. If you can do it every month, do it every month. If you can help share links and stuff from his page, do that. If Duane wins this seat, it changes the game for all of us.
I get a statue in my honor in the Libertarian Hall of Fame.
Duane, have you talked to my communications director, Aaron Pyle, yet?
Briefly.
Okay, just making sure.
And look, somebody has to be the first. It's got to be somebody. He's volunteered to distribute. Help him do it.
The thing is even if I don't get first, even if I get second place, I can yell at the Democrat and say, "Hey, you split my vote," so we can.
I mean, that's earned media.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's the thing is that, I mean, if we can take them out, and you know what, I'm an accountant, so and if you look at past election cycles, if you look at past history of elections, my hair's a mess. I'm sorry. I got like a Trumpian haircut, so that's how I connect with people. If you look at past election history, usually it's 75 to 80% Republican, 20% Democrat. It's kind of like New York. The Republicans win because they exist. The Democrats don't try. So Collins has kind of become a lame duck congressman. And so 2018 was a shot in the like kind of like a shot to the it was a big shock to the system, I guess. And so 60,000, 45 to 50,000 people flipped red to blue, maybe more, and that was an awful lot. That was an off presidential year. And so and they didn't go from, you know, red to purple or purple to purple. They went from Trump, this is one of the most pro-Trump districts in the country, to Bernie light. I mean, that's a huge difference because they voted on principle and they were upset that Collins was indicted.
Dwayne, Johnny Davis says, do you have a Facebook team? I think he's looking to volunteer. And Justin McDonald says, tell you he has a verified Twitter profile with zealots for followers.
I'm in. They're both on my team now. Good job.
There you go.
Reach out. Go to the website. Reach out. Elise Allman is commenting. Reach out to Elise.
Yep.
On Facebook.
I see her listed on your Facebook as
She's my, unfortunately for Elise, if she's watching this, sorry Elise, I feel bad to say this. She's stuck with me because she is probably one of the most important people in the Libertarian Party in New York State, and no one realizes it. So just pretend I didn't say that because she's mine and you guys can't have her.
She's awesome. She is awesome.
She is.
Unfortunately for her, because she is amazing. She's kind of my hero. Don't tell her I said that. She's watching. But she's a mom. She drives Uber. She works her ass off. And people like her, why I want to win. She ass off 25 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I'm lucky to have her, and I'm lucky to have her on my team. But you know, she works for free and she's stuck with me. I'm pretty high maintenance. I'm pretty demanding. I have a big ego. So, and she works for free and she does a lot. So, yeah, reach out to her, but she's wonderful. She's been, a rock. She's been keeping me grounded because I've been pulled, 100 different ways. She's wonderful. We got real lucky to have her. Erie County is lucky to have her. She actually is the one that pulled me in. I went to a Larry Sharpe event and she introduced herself and was like, hey, you're here, you're getting involved. And I said, we'll see what happens. And then I heard Larry talk, and to be honest with you, Larry was the first politician I voted for where I was happy to vote. Usually they're like Taco Bell politicians. I go, I vote, and I'm sick to my stomach after I leave. I'm like, I voted for shit. Like, I'm terrible. Like, I'm not happy who I voted for, and I voted for Larry.
Are you comparing politics to
yeah.
like
Republicans,
explosive diarrhea from Taco Bell?
Yeah. Republicans and Democrats are the Burger King and McDonald's of politics.
Wow.
You go there, you eat it. Not the voters. The voters are wonderful people. It's the higher upper echelon, the quote unquote establishment, as Trump would say, the machine, whatever you want to call it. And the politicians that they run most of the time they're the Burger King and McDonald's of politics. They're cheap, bad service. You get diarrhea after you eat it, and you're miserable. An hour later, and you never know why you did it, and then a week later you're there again because it's quick and easy.
Speaking of machines, you're a little younger than me, so do they even teach about political machines in school anymore? Because they did when I was in school.
Not really. I mean, I'm 31 and I don't remember high school very much because I'm old.
I'm not the only person on this podcast for a change.
But they don't really teach anything, which is another huge issue I have. I think teachers are, especially in some states, are terribly taken advantage of.
That's why they get away with it. They don't teach it anymore. When I was in school, they taught about jail journalism. They taught about political machines. And so you were against those.
I sometimes wonder if teachers had to take an oath, right? Like people in the medical profession, the Hippocratic oath applies, right? If teachers had to take an oath like that would give them some legal support.
Teachers
right? If somebody comes at me in the medical field and says, hey, give me this information about this client, and I don't because of the Hippocratic oath, HIPAA laws exist, right? And if I'm forced into a bad situation and I hold my ground, I have the law on my side. If teachers had to take a similar oath, maybe this wouldn't be this way.
So I'm looking through your shoot, I just lost it. So your social media person is actually like a young millennial.
Yeah.
No one else has that right now. Everyone else's social media people are like my age and older.
Yeah,
so
Maura's awesome.
Cool.
She's a sweetheart. Her and her boyfriend are great. Yeah. I don't know how to Twitter. I never had a Twitter until I got involved. I didn't have an Instagram until I got involved. I'm 31, but I focus on running my company, running my businesses, and real world connections. So I never had a Twitter. So Maura runs it. I mean, I only have Facebook because of the company. If I didn't have a company Facebook page, I wouldn't even have Facebook. I don't have time. And so it's kind of a shock to the system. People are like, oh, we'll follow you on Twitter. I'm like, sure. I don't know.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's what people want. That's what people go to. So it's kind of a catch-22. I'm used to the face-to-face interactions. I think my personality sells. I'm pretty high energy. I'm pretty high maintenance. And so I can have a conversation with someone, and I think that's what gets me to sells me. So I'm, new to the whole Twitter thing. My only goal with
Twitter. If you're
Twitter
not following the chat, Maura says she loves you.
Oh, good. Thanks, Maura. My only goal is to have Donald Trump tweet at me. I mean, I think that's a win in itself. If I get Donald Trump to send me an angry tweet at 2 a.m, I will frame it and hang it on my wall. I'm not kidding.
Absolutely nothing is wrong with millennials, Donnie. I hear people bitch about millennials all the time. We all hear it. If you're bitching about millennials, you are not hanging out with the same millennials I am, because they are fucking amazing. There's nothing in the world wrong with millennials.
Unfortunately for millennials,
the worst parts of my generation have tainted it for the rest of us.
Well, unfortunately for millennials, the ones that get the most coverage and the ones that get the most notoriety are the ones that shouldn't be getting coverage and notoriety.
Look, that's not just millennials. Boomers, hello, you've got Trump.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, boomers actually have a much bigger problem than Trump. Let's be honest.
They have a lot of bigger problems, but fuck
anyway,
Trump.
we're not going to do the inner generational war here.
Yeah, it's tough to be a millennial nowadays because they make it's not really that tough to be a millennial, but a lot of times there's I know a lot of millennial Republicans, but they're afraid to speak up because if they speak up, they're told they're racist, bigoted, homophobic, transphobic pieces of crap. And a lot of them aren't. They're hardworking, they pay taxes, and now I'm trying to get them to join the LP because they should hang out with me. But a lot of them don't, like, a lot of them are afraid to speak up. It's that silent majority because I was a Republican before I realized I was libertarian. I was a Republican. And the reason why I left, little fun fact about me is I was kind of a party, I didn't know where I belonged. In 2008, I voted for Obama because John McCain bothered me. Something about him, I thought he was a war hawk. I'm from Franklinville, New York. I'm from a small town. I grew up poor. Don't tell my parents because I know, but I grew up low income. We were like upper, lower class, if that makes sense. And so my biggest one issue thing was war. I had friends and family go to the Middle East and they didn't come back. Or if they came back, they weren't the same. So
we have to ask the question. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
What are your thoughts about nuclear power?
Jesus. I think that that's a tough one because I'm okay with it and I think we should focus on it. But I think movies like Chernobyl and the Chernobyl Diaries and what happened in Japan kind of give it a bad name. But I think that we should be supporting it. It's tough because in my district, wind and solar is a big thing, and people are really polarized. They either love it or hate it. But it's tough because farmers in the district who are losing their farms are turning to putting windmills up because they can make 35, 40 grand a year with having windmills on their land. That helps them pay their taxes and keep their farm afloat. So it's a short-term solution for their permanent problem. I'd like to see us do more with nuclear, especially with Lake Erie. Michael Burns, my policy director, he's another guy. He's awesome. I'm trying to get him.
Michael's amazing. He's a good friend.
I'm DMing Michael right now with another name of another policy guy I want you guys to talk to.
Yeah, I got Michael, so I'm really lucky there.
Oh, you did. Yeah, you got Michael. You got lucky.
Yeah, and he gave me some ideas on nuclear with using Lake Erie as a cooling center, and he's got some really good ideas. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm an accountant, not a scientist, and it went over my head. But I think nuclear should be something we should be focusing on and kind of end the stigma. I know Chernobyl happened and it sucks, but that was their issue because they weren't taking care of it. I know Japan happened and it sucks, but again, there were issues, in an earthquake. But I think that the stigma and the false ideas around it are yeah, I know, Elise. It's time for a serious discussion with real information, not fake. I don't want to say fake news. I sound like Trump, but we're watching fiction TV shows that have been kind of manipulated to get viewership, and then acting like it's the real world.
Right.
I do think we should focus on nuclear.
So I want to jump in for just a sec.
Yep.
We are hitting 9 o'clock, which is our scheduled time with you. But because you came on late, if you want to extend to keep the interview going, we will.
I got nowhere to be. I got my Jenny light right here. So,
John, are you good?
I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay. So continue. Sorry for interrupting you. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, he doesn't even ask me. He's just like, Aaron's good.
No, you're stuck with me.
Tell you.
So back to why I voted for Obama in 2008 was because my friends and family were going to Iraq, and because they were poor. There's a song actually, it came on my Pandora yesterday. I got a kick out of it. Is Ozzy Osbourne "War Pigs," and one of the lines is, "Politicians send us off something. Why do they?" I forgot, but something about sending the poor. Being from a small poor town, that's who they were sending. So I watched my friends go across, and unfortunately, some didn't come back, and the ones that did weren't the same. And then they get VA benefits, and they're treated like crap.
Yeah, we were talking about that before you came on.
Yeah,
yep.
And I mean, I can tell you when I was enlisted,
there's nothing wrong with Jenny Light.
Look, I met more people from Ohio than anywhere else, but New York was second.
Yep. And it's being from a small poor town. You see it, and I didn't like that. So I saw McCain as a war hawk. So my big one issue was war. I voted for Obama, and then we went to more wars because why not? So that's kind of an issue I had with them. So I tended to be Democrat, and I didn't really give a crap about gay marriage. I didn't understand why the government was involved in that. I don't care what you do. Stay out of your bedroom. I'll stay at, you stay at my bedroom. I'll stay at your bedroom. As long as it's consensual between adults and human adults, it's fine. So I, kind of joined the Democratic Party. And then when Obama passed Obamacare, I questioned it. Actually, this was kind of a really sad story, and kind of I'll go on a little rant about that.
Don't get me started.
Well, I kind of spoke up because I said, in my opinion, it's a wonderfully designed pyramid scheme to go from taxpayers to corporations such as hospitals and insurance companies and Big Pharma, who dominates donations to Congress. And so I said, I was with a group of friends, and I said, I have a real serious concern about Obamacare. And now a friend of mine who I've known for like 10 years, she looks me dead in the face and goes, "Oh, I didn't know you were racist." And I went, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, you don't like Obama because he's black." And I said, "No, I don't like Obamacare because it's a scam that they use to pretend to help poor people and use it to shift taxpayer funds to massive corporations."
Would they have said the same thing? Okay, I'm so fucking sick of hearing that. If you didn't vote for Obama, you're a racist. So what if Obama hadn't run? What if Bill Cosby had instead? Would I still be a fucking racist for not voting for a rapist?
I mean,
because he's black.
I don't know. You have to ask them. I'll next time I see her, I'll ask.
Give me a break.
But so I was like, you know what? This party sucks. If I speak out against the powers that be, it's polarizing and there's hate. So I left. I joined the Republican Party, which then I regretted. I voted for Romney in 2012. I know. I'm sorry. My
was that eye roll too obvious?
Yeah, my voting record sucks. And then in 2014, I started my own business, and I learned about the Libertarian Party And so I was like, oh, this is a pretty cool party. So I voted for Gary in 2016. I wanted to see him get, the percentage he needed. But, I tell a lot of people that the Republican and Democrat parties are in the business of winning elections. That's it. They're a business. They make money off of winning elections and keeping us divided. If we come together as a country and start getting rid of the shitty politicians, we can take our country back through the vote. And it's possible. We just have to come together and understand that the upper echelon, whether they're red or blue, they're lying to you. And we have to understand that if you voted for Trump, you're not a racist, bigot, homophobic, transphobic, KKK, Nazi, fascist, insert words here. You didn't like Hillary. I wouldn't have voted for Hillary. If I only had two options, Trump or Hillary, unfortunately it would have been Trump, because Hillary rubbed me the wrong way. I'm sick of ruling families. We left England for a reason. I'm sick of the Clintons. I'm sick of the Bushes. I'm sick of the Kennedys. I'm sick of the Cuomos. I'm sick of political families. It's time to make this where, the average person can go in, and AOC is a good example of this. Granted, she's insane. But she's a good example. She was an average person. She got in there. I think that it's time we put average, everyday people back into office. It shouldn't be a career. It shouldn't be a job. It should be, a duty. It should be, an honor, not a career. And
drop me a message and remind me. I wrote a paper on that I'll send you that you can use.
Okay.
And then Zach, did you see Justin's quote here about Bush, Obama, and Trump? Put that one on the screen.
There you go.
That is a very valid point right there.
Sorry,
Yeah,
we were getting trolled, so I had to go delete some comments.
Always, dude, because that's how it works, right? It's all smoke and mirrors. When we're dealing with the old parties, it's the same fucking entity.
It really is, because they profit off of war. I think Halliburton made like $1 billion off the Iraq War. So a bunch of my friends died. A bunch of my friends died and aren't the same, and some of them are disabled. They literally left pieces of themselves overseas, so some company can make $1 billion. Personally, I didn't serve, but I had friends that did, and they signed on to fight war, fight terrorists, foreign and domestic. 90% of Congress is a domestic terrorist, and so I think 90%. That right now, yeah, there's a couple of good ones in there. I think
I would have gone 95% myself. That's all.
I think there's some. I think it's a smaller number than that. I think
I do too. I'm trying to.
Many of them are well intentioned. I think they're misinformed and poorly educated, clearly, but I think many of them are well intentioned.
I think some.
I disagree, but I mean the results are the results, regardless of the intentions. So
right.
I don't think it matters too much if we disagree.
The thing about the road to hell, right?
Yes, yeah. I was about to say that.
I'd like to see them all tarred and feathered, but apparently that's crazy. So we're trying to get them voted out.
Hey, look, we talk
Make America tar and feather politicians again.
Look, we talk about congressional superdome, right? Like you lock them all in, and the last man standing is the next president.
McConnell. Oh, okay. I thought it was like a one-on-one thing.
No, man. It's melee style chairs, tables, coffee mugs.
One rule though. I have one rule about that. If you're an anti-gun politician, you don't get a gun. But if you're pro-gun, you get a gun.
Yeah. Oh, I'm down.
That's cool. I'm probably the most.
Paul Ryan's out of
You have to be able to
right?
physically wield it, though.
Yeah.
It can't be something that you wheel in on a wagon.
Amen. Paul Ryan retired with $145,000 a year pension. So
I'm just saying, like, I feel like he would win that if he was still in, because that dude was in really good shape.
Dude, look, if you serve one term, we pay you forever.
Yeah, isn't that great? What a scam.
What's that dude with the eye? Crenshaw?
Crenshaw, yeah.
Crenshaw's probably badass.
I'm on his team.
Yeah.
Team Crenshaw.
You're gonna do a Thunderdome.
Like, look, I said for years that what I wanted to see was like a Crip and a Blood as president and vice president.
Did you see that book?
Nobody's gonna fuck with them. Nobody in the world would fuck with them.
There was a book a few years ago. What was there? Demo Crips and Republicans.
Well, my thing is that speaking of, someone made a good comment about Paul Ryan getting paid for the rest of his life. Who voted to give Congress what they get? Congress did. Mm-hmm. So does no one not recognize the massive conflict of interest that Congress votes for their own salaries, their own benefits, their own pension? So I mean, I would like to see something. I was talking to a voter the other day, and I said, you know what? I would like to see a bill sponsored where Congress's congressional salaries are tied to the average income of their district, because that would incentivize them to benefit their own district. Imagine that. And he laughed, and we were laughing about it. And he was like, it would never happen because they have to vote on it, and they wouldn't vote on it. It's simple.
Look, I see a fault with that anyway. We already know that most of our elected officials spend the majority of their time doing nothing but fundraising for the next campaign.
Yeah.
If that became the case, how much more corrupt would they become, and how much more quickly? Because I promise you, they're not going to be like, oh, I guess I just lost that money.
Yeah, he's right. I think if I remember correctly, it's 5 years. After 5 years, you have to serve for 5 years in Congress, and then it's a step-up system on your pension.
Which means if you're a senator, you automatically get it at the end.
Yep, because I think Senate's 8 years, 6 years, something like that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, where else can you go to work? You work for 5 years. So, Duane, I have a company.
Do nothing, by the way.
I'm going to hire you.
You do nothing for 5 years.
The best ones
I'm going
do
to hire
nothing.
you to raise money for yourself.
Right, Zach?
To raise money for yourself.
Yep.
Pretend to do some paperwork for me for 6 years. Maybe kill some people. Can you kill some people for me too? Because that's going to be probably pretty important. For 6 years. And in exchange for that, I will pay you.
Thank you, Justin. 5 terms, not 5 years.
And you get to set your own salary. All you have to do is convince a bunch of other people that it's the right salary.
Yep.
Does that make fucking sense to anybody?
I don't know why they're not all on referendum, honestly.
They want a $4,500 raise, by the way. They deserve it because all the good work they've done with the government shutdown.
They deserve it because AOC can't afford an apartment in D.C., but Jess Mears, who works for the Libertarian Party, can. AOC needs to take some financial management courses.
I think AOC needs a better accountant. Have her call me. But yeah, it's a little bit insane. It's sad. We're in a sad state, and that's kind of why I joined the LP. I like to be the underdog. I like to root for the underdog. And
I've said that time and time again. People, I'm not going to vote Libertarian. They can't win. I said, don't you realize that voting for the underdog or supporting the underdog is the American way? Well, Do you not America, bro?
My favorite thing about that. One of my favorite things that
everybody said that. Remember, guys, when Doug Flutie was going into pro football?
Little Dougie, yeah.
Yeah. Nobody will draft somebody that size, but he did. Muggsy Bogues. How about a short basketball player? He can't win. Look up his stats. It's bullshit. It's a bullshit line. I'm sick of hearing it. You know why libertarians don't win? Because people are too chicken shit to vote. They're conscious.
And that's the thing, is that one of my favorite things is after Larry's campaign, some people that didn't support Larry, they'd go, 2.6% or 2%, whatever he got. That's an insult. Affected me. I kind of got a kick out of it because I'm like, all you're saying is that 2% of the state actually gave a shit about improving the state. So congratulations. Your insult is just insulting yourself and insulting the state right now.
Well, the thing is when the Democrats say that. The Democrats say that, and they're all about, we need to support the minority. We need to, but you're going to shut up 2% of us.
Yeah, right. I lost a lot of friends after the election because a lot of my friends said Florida and Georgia were racist because the African-American candidate didn't win in Florida and Georgia. So I countered with, well, then using your logic, New York State is also racist because Larry didn't win. Promptly defriended, unfortunately.
Well, and look, here's the reality. If we couldn't win, lawsuits and cases like the bullshit they tried in Ohio against Chrissy Wickers, the bullshit they pulled with Bethany Valdez, right? And we can go on down that list. They try it with us, with every candidate we can put up. Where we just saw it again in Ohio. and the bullshit ballot access laws that they put in place to keep us off the ballot. If we couldn't win, none of those things would be there.
Well, and you realize once again
those mailing campaigns like we saw with Laura Epke in Nebraska, John, we wouldn't see that if we couldn't win.
And you realize that once again goes back to my point earlier about no longer teaching about the political machine. Because when I was taught about political machine in school, we were taught about how they did these things to keep people off the ballot and did these things to stack ballot access and did these things. And all of a sudden they quit teaching that. I wonder why.
Well, another thing that I said this earlier, and this is kind of my defense of this, is that I say the Republican and Democrat machine, whatever, are in the business of winning elections. And this is what I tell people when they say, well, Duane, you can't win. It's not always about winning. It's about winning the battle, or it's about winning the war, not the battle. And if you're a business and you start to lose 40% of your revenues, you know, you're going to say, why am I losing 40% of my revenues? You're going to do something better. If we start to steal votes from the red and blue parties, they're either going to wake up and say, oh no, we're losing votes. Do we listen to our voters? Do we adapt policy? Do we listen to what these people are saying? Do we run better? We start, you know, making face to the voters and caring? Or do we start to doubt as a party? So, you know, go ahead.
How many of our talking points are they copying now? Legalization of marijuana, gay marriage that was our thing long before it was either of theirs.
Long before.
We need to point that out. I think we need to show them, and that's something that we need to do, in my opinion, a better job of doing, is saying, look, here's proof. We were talking about this 20 years ago, and now that we were talking about gay marriage, I did the research on this. What the Libertarian Party was talking about same-sex marriage, it was even thought of for the red or blue parties until it was kind of more accepted. You know, when you guys were, the Libertarian Party was kind of the wild card.
Look, in 1972, John Hosburg was our very first presidential candidate.
That's right. Yep.
An openly gay man. His vice presidential candidate was a woman, and she got an electoral vote. So
what was her name?
We can't win bullshit.
Tony Nathan.
Right. There we go. Yep. And you know,
that faceless elector that cast that vote for her? That was Roger McBride, who later went on to become a presidential candidate for our party.
Yeah. So I'm sorry to have to cut it off here, but it's getting late, and I work early in the morning.
Guys, go to Duane's Facebook page. Send him money. Send him money regardless of where you live. Every dollar counts.
For the record, if you guys follow my Facebook page, my personal page, I made a comment today. I was joking around with some friends of mine because I like to do that, and I realized that I threw out the idea of getting a bus that says Duane Whitmer for Congress that would have speakers and play Freebird on repeat 24/7.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was a joke. I was just kidding. I had a handful of people reach out and say it, and I was like, oh no, that was a stupid joke amongst friends. I mean, who doesn't love Freebird? Leonard Skinner's my favorite band. But I was just kidding because some people did reach out and were like, oh, that's a great idea. And I was like, no, I'm kidding. I'm not going to get a bus that plays Freebird. Any money, real fast, while I'm here, any money that I raise goes directly to outreach and growing the party. I don't take a salary. None of my staff is paid yet. I fund my own travel. I fund my own meal costs. Any money that you give me goes directly to outreach of voters and trying to expand the party. So,
donate.
Yeah, all your money. Just kidding. But yeah, anything does help. I mean,
if you can't send money, you just can't afford it. Reach out to Elise Alman on Facebook, or reach out to me. Reach out to the page. We will put you in touch. Volunteer some time. This is really important, guys.
I say if you forget that, reach out to us. We'll put you in touch.
Yeah, there's stuff you can do from home.
And I appreciate everyone that's listening and does reach out and donates. It means a lot to me to see the support I get, and to see, people reaching out and sharing my page. It does mean a lot. I'm not used to it. I kind of usually stay to myself. But I really want to I'm nervous. I don't want to let you guys down. I think we could really make a good impact in this district and really get people fired up. I think we can compete. I really do. I think the Republicans are in turmoil. I think the Democrats are just non-existent. I think that I'll be the most pro-gun candidate. I think I'll be the most like the voting base most like the average voter in the district. I'm more in common with them. I'm going to be reaching out to more of them. So, as long as they acknowledge my, if they debate me, I think we'll win the debate.
We always win the debates.
I
see that.
I think I can, just because, I'm authentic. I really care. Like I said, I've directly been impacted by the opioid epidemic. Big Pharma has negatively affected me. My stepbrother died of a heroin overdose. I've had friends die of heroin. I get Big Pharma dominating donations to Congress because I did. So I can relate to people that, have had friends and family die of heroin. I can relate to people who have friends and family die in war, because so have I. A lot of these politicians haven't. Obviously Crenshaw from earlier, he was literally in the Middle East, so that's different. But most of them haven't. Most of them are just kind of taking advantage of their district. So I do think we have a lot in common with them. I think we can make a good run at it.
Excellent.
All right. So thank you, Duane, for fighting through the tech issues. And
yes, sir. I don't get technology.
John, thanks for co-hosting with us tonight.
Oh, anytime.
Yeah,
anytime. Happy to be on.
So next week we've got Kevin Hale, who's running for something in Texas.
Give Congress Hale, guys.
He's running for Congress, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired. I knew what he was running for when this podcast started. At this point, I don't remember my name. So thank you, John, for coming in and jumping in. Yeah, thanks. And definitely go check out Duane's his page was posted earlier, his Facebook page. Send him some money. We have a subscribe star. Send us some money too.
Please send us money. Please. I need a new mic really bad.
But yeah, send all the money to all of us. There you go. Support John's campaign too.
I am just taking donations as well. So
just max out your credit cards. You can probably pay them back.
Look, guys, while we're pushing for donations, go to www.lp.org and donate today.
Whoa.
These guys running.
Let's not say things we can't take back, okay? Anyway, thank you both for coming on. Thank you, Erin, for putting up with me tonight. We'll see y'all. I'm going to try for Thursday. I'm going to do something this Thursday.
Wait, time out. Does Kevin have a mullet?
Maybe-ish.
My man.
We can't go out like that. I got to go find out.
Zach, I may or may not pop in on you Thursday. We'll see how things go. I'll be on the road. The LNC meeting is in Dallas. Come see me and John. We'll be there.
He's got long hair.
Not Dallas, Austin. Damn.
Austin.
I smoked too much. We're not in Dallas. We're in Austin.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if anybody in Austin knows any good activism going on this weekend, we'd be happy to participate. I hear
we'll bring friends.
I hear there is a detention center near there.
Ooh.
You won't invade a government facility and release all the aliens.
Oh God.
If we did, we'd never tell we're libertarians.
All right, so we're going for real now. Thank you, everyone, for coming on. When I hit stop, it's going to kick
Good night.
Good night, everybody.